Welcome to the Cold-Blooded Truth.
Ooh, cold-blooded, that's cold.
Yo, what is the deal, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in for another segment of the Cold-Blooded Truth podcast. It is I, DJ Cold-Blooded. We are live at I Am Studios alongside 11073, and I got a very special guest in the building. Fun fact before I get started, I still got that plate.
For real?
I had two. I gave my one friend one. My sister couldn't get the one, so I told that same friend, I'm like, bro, you better come grab this, you know what I'm saying? But he be going to work. I'll be going to work, so it'll be like, yo, you must not want this plate. Like,
Right.
But, yeah, so if you are familiar, when it comes to me, there's a group of people who I consider pillars in the community and who I call the ones. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to artists coming to the city and they get to indulge in a certain kind of food, or they get a first-hand-on experience of what the city has to offer, they go to this woman. If you go to certain clubs and you might have had the food, it comes from this woman. If you've heard the name out and about in the city, you might have been like, yo, where can I get this? Where can I get that? Like I always hear about it, but where can I get it? And you always see it's like a fire display and it's real exclusive. It all comes from this woman. So we had, and also I can cut this part out, Chantel, right? Chantel. Okay.
You're cool.
We have the CEO, president, owner, president, vice president, chairman of Dirty Birds.
Hey. Thanks for having me. I'm excited. Thanks for that elaborate welcome.
Hey man, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's proof's in the pudding.
I feel you. I'm humble, you know, so I'm not used to that.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me nervous or shy, just, you know, to hear what other people think of you, because you don't always feel that way about yourself, so thanks.
Right.
Thanks.
So, you know what I'm saying? Fresh out the gym.
Yes, you know, I've been trying to slim down. I kind of lost myself in this business, and I'm trying to get my focus back, or just get pieces of me back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling a lot better than what I have been over the last couple years, and I'm like all smiles, giddy. It's amazing.
That's what's up.
Yep.
That's what's up. That's
yeah, I'm
good.
so excited.
So for those watching, we're just gonna go way back to the beginning.
Okay.
So, where are you from originally?
I am actually from New York. I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
Brookdale Hospital, yes. My father's side of the family, some of my mom's side is still in New York. I always brag about my cousin. He owns a chain of restaurants in New York called the Best Style Fish Fry. They've been in operation or business for over 10 years now. Phenomenal food, great layouts. If you're in New York, New Jersey, or traveling or passing by or through, I suggest you try them out. Anthony, I'm always sending people your way. But yeah, I'm from New York. I've lived here in Pittsburgh for the majority of my life, however.
When did you move here?
I'd say I was like 3.
Okay, so you was a baby.
I was definitely young. I traveled back and forth because my father still lived in New York and my mom was here. She had come because her mother was sick.
Okay.
So I traveled back and forth for a while as a kid, but I'd say around like grade school-ish, middle school is when I kind of like stopped traveling as much. I would go for the summer or not at all, but I kept in touch with my dad, who is now deceased. So yeah, I have spent the majority of my life here in Pittsburgh. Now, do I plan on staying the rest of my life here in Pittsburgh? I don't know, but I'm here for now.
Okay, so what's going through your head doing all this back and forth as a kid?
Nothing.
Like did you know like grandmas was sick?
I didn't really understand it. You know, when you got your mom hat on, you are... My mom, I had a phenomenal mom. She did a good job at keeping me shielded or guarded, and I was unaware. So, you know, whenever I'm pretty sure it was a lot for her. I had no idea what was going on. I was just traveling back and forth, you know, and of course it was fun for me because I got to see my grandmother and I got to see my mom and I got to be with my father and his family and stuff. So
yeah. Was it by car or by plane?
It was by plane, or sometimes I remember by bus.
Okay, that'd be kind of cool. Get to see the sights. You know what I'm saying?
I was young. You know what I mean? Like young, so it didn't really matter to me. I probably was asleep or who knows, but it was different, and I was loved on, and I think that's what I remember most.
So where'd y'all settle at in the city? Like
here, when we got here?
Yeah, like any specific area in the city?
I have lived in East Liberty.
Okay.
The majority of my life. Even when I went to Penn Hills, we had a house, well, we still do, on Trevella Boulevard in Penn Hills. So I was able to utilize that address to go to Penn Hills High School, but I lived in East Liberty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you graduate from Penn Hills?
I did.
Yeah. What class?
I did class of 2002.
All right. Hey. Ain't nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? That's when the hoop team was nice.
It was.
That's when Pizza Hut was still there.
It was lit.
And the Get-Go wasn't there. It was like an Exxon.
It was definitely something different.
That was when there was Burger King still.
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
I think
Radio Shack.
wasn't Horses and all that
Horses,
stuff still
yeah.
up there too? Yeah, it was lit. It was definitely lit. My first job was like at McDonald's, no, Giant Eagle.
Okay.
Then McDonald's.
Was that McDonald's how it is now back then?
I don't think it was still there, the same format and layout. I think they got like a remodel or something though since then.
Yeah, it looks nicer
Yeah.
in there now. I mean, you know, like staff. No shade to them. Shout out to Ken. Ken's been there for a minute, but like you know, like
I don't even know who the
everyone,
hell that is, but
everyone like from high school goes and works there, and there's a bunch of high school kids making the food and.
I didn't have a bunch of high school kids with me actually. It was just I said there was only like 3 of us. Or 4 of us, myself included, or whoever might have been there when I was there. They weren't like noteworthy. I didn't know who they were.
Okay.
You know, the few that I knew was about 3 or 4 of us total, and we were cool. I actually met my daughter's dad working there.
At McDonald's?
Yes.
What?
Yep.
That's what's up.
And I have to say this: I didn't grow up in the Penn Hills school system.
Yeah.
I went to Catholic schools, so for me to say like whomever might not have been noteworthy, I didn't know who they were.
I was gonna say you made it seem like the McDonald's crew, like Grimace and all them, was more notable.
No, it was some cool people. I met people, but like for the most part, or whatever, like shift I worked, they were older.
Okay.
Like my daughter's dad and his friend was the manager and stuff, you know. So that I knew them, and there was another young woman. I remember her. I can't remember her name. But they were all older than us. And then I had my little clique of friends from school that I remember, but the other people were kind of just like, there were people there, I just don't know who.
What was Catholic school like for you growing up? Just because Catholic school is essentially like private school in a way?
It is.
Okay.
It is. You have to pay for it. You have to wear uniforms. There are nuns and things like that there.
Yeah. Smacking with the ruler, is that real?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. St. Agnes, Sister Mary Ann used to whip kids' ass with that damn ruler if you were like really unruly. Miss Descola was like I don't know, I think she was the assistant or something. Vice principal, I can't remember. It was like ages ago. But yeah, Catholic school's not bad though. You go to church a lot.
I forgot. Yeah, that makes sense.
You go to church a lot and sing.
Seems like you ain't really like Catholic school.
It was okay. I'm trying to actually reflect because I told you I'm old, so that was a long while ago. But the uniforms, it was okay. At the time, that was all I knew, so I couldn't really complain. You know,
Okay.
Other than like there might have been people that got on your nerves, students or whatnot, but that's it. I went to Catholic school up until high school, and then I got kicked out of Oakland Catholic and transitioned to Penn Hills.
Why'd you get kicked out?
Fought this girl, Alexis Hall.
You a name dropper?
Yep, I did.
Alright.
Because I'll never forget that. That was like some unspoken weird ass beef that had been going on since grade school. And it just so happened that she was coming to Oakland Catholic too. I'll never forget. I was just like, my mom too was like, oh my God, you know, like this bitch again. And one day, you know, how it is, there's only so much of somebody's shit you're going to take.
Did you win?
And it was a fair fight.
Okay.
Neither one of us won.
Keep it real with yourself.
I remember, I'll have to give that to her and me. We were beating the fuck out of each other. Excuse my language, but we were beating each other's ass. Nobody won. That was like the longest fight I had ever engaged in. you know, your adrenaline is pumping, so
Yeah.
I can't say that I was tired or anything. I mean, it was a brawl. And I remember everybody being in there and loud. We had like two, I don't mean any shade or disrespect in saying this, but two gay women that were our gym teachers, and like they were kind of like strong, you know, structured, you know. They couldn't even break us up. Like it was deep. So it went down in that damn gym locker room, and yeah. But after that, I don't know. It was just kind of like whatever we needed to let out, we let it out, and we're decent. Like we're not BFFs or nothing. But when I see her, haven't seen her in a long time.
Y'all
But
still
we
see each
speak
other?
to it. Haven't seen her in a long time. But when we
Okay,
would
okay.
cross paths every now and again, we would speak. You know, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, keep it
So,
cordial, you know what I'm saying? Like grown
absolutely.
nowadays, you know what I'm saying?
And I mean, after that fight, it was never an issue after that. I don't know what the issue was to begin with.
Being young and dumb.
But
No disrespect, because I don't know.
No,
you know what
you're
I'm saying?
good. I'm just saying, it was never
some,
really me, though. Like, that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying you
It
might
was
have some
never-
real logical reasoning behind.
I was just not
you know.
about to. I've never been a punk, and like you know, it's cool if you don't like me. I don't care, you know. But like, keep that shit to yourself, or you're not about to try to rally up the gang to not like me too, or you know, be smart to me. I don't stand for that. So it was just like, okay, enough is enough. Let's get it.
So, what was you into growing up? Like, was you cooking when you were a kid?
I was not. I had a strict mother.
You said you ain't cooking nothing in the crib?
No, I can't say that. Like I was responsible. Like I had chores.
Mhm.
I had to clean the house. I remember I used to clean the house every Friday, like knock out all the chores, laundry, everything. I knew how to do stuff like that. I didn't really have to cook though. My mom cooked, and my mom was actually a good cook.
She make you wash the walls?
No, not that
No,
type
not
of cleaning.
that type? Man, my mom used to be like, oh, we got to wash the walls today. I'm like, man, what?
No, yeah, no. I mean, I know how to wash walls in my own house,
You know
but
what
I
I'm saying?
never had to
Get
do
like this, y'all. Like, wash the walls in the crib.
Man, I never had to do that.
Good for you.
Right. Good for me. I would have been pissed.
Okay, so
I already had to have to clean the house.
you know, so your mom's cooking.
Yeah.
Were you like standing like behind her, like watching her do her thing, or?
So the funniest thing is, I was not. I liked to eat. The food was good. I'm going to fuck it up, but I didn't. I was always doing my own thing. I didn't really know how to cook, even when I had transitioned out of her house. Like breakfast food, I could kill. But I remember when I like first, as an adult, had my first place, and living with my baby's dad at the time. It was like my first real boyfriend. I didn't really know how to cook. And it was like I would be trying and trying. But it wasn't until I had a kid. And it was like, okay, I'm responsible for someone. And I have to cook for this individual, that I actually got serious and started cooking. And I used to feed the whole building. And I mean, like, food was busting. And
Whole building? Like whole
I lived in an apartment
building?
building. And it was 2 apartments on each floor. And I had my friend Marquita, who is still my friend to this day. It was her and her son upstairs. I had a friend Tia. She's still my friend. We haven't fallen out or anything, but I don't talk to her, see her as often. Same with Marquita, but that's like we kept closer. We were closer and kept in touch longer. Those 2 lived on the 3rd floor. John and his mom on the 2nd floor. I forget who else. And
There's 3 floors.
3 floors. Yep.
So you cooking for 12 people?
No, I would cook for Kita, Tia, John. If he wanted something, he was weird. He didn't eat food. I don't know. And myself. But we had like that type of relationship where my door was always open. I was actually, they all had to surpass my house to get to theirs. So it was like, you know, hey girl, what you cooking? Or I smell something. Or they would just walk in and.
Like walk in,
Yeah.
damn.
Yep.
Like what's that? Let me get some.
That's how I learned how to cook. And it was their opinions that mattered and telling me what to do. And, you know, eventually over the years, you know, you just continue to cook and you get better as you continue to do so or practice. And
You ever thought to culinary school? Like college and culinary school?
so I did complete some college, regular college.
Like CCAC?
No, I actually went to the University of Pitt, Titusville.
Okay.
I did a year there.
What was that like? Because you're in Titusville.
So they were racist.
Okay.
And I'm talking about, this was in 2003?
Oh, yeah.
Late
Different
2002,
times.
2003.
Different
So they were
times.
racist. But there was a lot of black people, a lot of black kids there.
Mhm.
And we all stuck together, and we didn't tolerate any of that. And there weren't any issues, you know. And it wasn't an abundance of, like, racial encounters that we had, but we did experience some. It was cool. I was away from home. I was, you know, free. I did my thing. Again, I had just started, like, dealing with my first boyfriend my senior year, so I was distracted, and I didn't finish. And I came home and I did some CCAC, but, you know, I didn't finish college. I have certificates and certifications under my belt, but I didn't, like, actually finish college and what I went for. So,
What'd you go for?
criminal justice and a minor in sociology.
Oh.
Right.
So, no culinary school?
None at all. I would like to go, even though I've heard on multiple occasions, like, you don't have to go to culinary school to cook or, you know, be successful, but it's just something that I'd like to do. Like, if I'm going to pursue something, or I have put all my focus into this over these past few years, I want to be the best at what I'm doing. I want to have knowledge. I don't want anybody to be able to tell me something or say something that I'm not. Let me rephrase that. There's always room to grow and learn, and I'm not saying that I'm not receptive to any knowledge. I'm just saying I don't want to be completely oblivious to certain things. I want to fine-tune my craft. So I want to obtain all the knowledge I possibly can in the field or industry. So why not go to culinary school?
So, where would you go now?
I have no idea. Even though I want to go to culinary school, I've never really looked into it. I feel like I'm interested. I'm not ready just yet. I need to, like, get my business to a certain point where it could possibly, like, kind of operate without me, so to speak, or have somebody that I could depend on or piggyback off of, and then I could put my focus there.
Right. So where's the name Dirty Birds come from?
So, I use the name Dirty Birds to signify or kind of like to explain a chicken.
Okay.
I don't have your regular, like, golden brown chicken wing. The birds look dirty, you know. It's the seasoning that I utilize as well as the flour that I use that gives it that dirty bird look. Yeah.
So that's where the name Dirty Birds comes from?
Yeah.
So, dirty, because it looks dirty.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what was
it makes the grease dirty.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of money on grease. Yeah. So,
all right,
the birds are
untold
dirty.
truth. So, when it comes to, like, what was the moment you're like, yo, I'm about to start taking this serious, and then, like, Dirty Birds clicks? Like, what was that?
So that wasn't how that went. Honestly, I was working like a Jamaican. Maybe that's not the right thing to say, but I was working multiple jobs. I was going to school and things like that. Living a regular life, because I don't call this entrepreneurship living a regular life, okay? And remind me to shout this person out on Instagram.
Shout
and
out
read
now.
this. Well, I'm gonna find it and read this quote that he wrote, because he summed up entrepreneurship to a T.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna get there 1 second.
Okay.
So it started off as a whimsical idea between myself and two other cousins. It was actually another cousin's idea. They're not gonna get any free promo off of me. So we decided to pursue it. We started every Sunday on a trial basis initially. People enjoyed it and were inquisitive, asking for more, or, you know, could we make this, that, or the third. So then it became what we were doing on a trial basis. It became an every Sunday basis, and it one cousin faded off very early in the game, another not long after that one, and then it was just me. And I was stuck kind of carrying the torch, trying to figure out basically what to do and how I was going to do it or keep going. But I knew that I had to keep going. Like, for years I've worked other jobs. For years I've always known that I wasn't meant to take orders from anybody. I always knew that I wasn't supposed to work for anybody. I never lasted long not to sound bad, I lasted when I wanted to, but if I didn't care or didn't want to, I didn't last long at jobs because I always walked to the beat of my own drum. Like, I'm going to do what I want to do wherever I'm at. I don't care, you know. And that's just what it is. So I knew that it just wasn't something other than working for someone else was for me. I just didn't know what it was, and I felt like in that moment of turmoil, because I was saddened and kind of hurt when the last cousin decided to part, but I felt like I had finally found my purpose. So since then, I've just been walking in it and literally learning and figuring everything out on my own. So, Dirty Birds, we were Dirty Birds before I was by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Before Dirty Birds Chicken?
We were Dirty Birds Chicken and Waffles.
Okay.
And I had to, you know, you will experience a lot of different things, sometimes more so from the people that you think are closest to you versus strangers. So in the midst of all of that, the cousin that left, you know, and it'll always be portrayed to family whom I don't speak to anymore, or whomever even associates with him, who knows, that, you know, I did him dirty or did him an injustice. However, he wasn't there. Like, he would be there and leave in the middle of the day, and I would still pay him half the funds, even though he didn't deserve being paid when he wasn't there putting in the work. Nobody ever asked me. We were always at my house. Nobody gave me any money on bills. Nobody stayed to clean up. Nobody, you know, I was buying the meats and things of that nature. He was buying, like, or facilitating the eggs and making waffle batter. Your grocery bill was much cheaper than my grocery bill. We never went half on the groceries, yet you still got half of the proceeds. So I was playing myself, but trying to be what I thought was fair at the time. I learned in that lesson. Long story short, when he left and I decided to open up my first business bank account, I had found out that he had filed for the name, the LLC, in his name and his address without my knowledge, when we were supposed to be a team and we were supposed to be working on that together. And I had actually paid into doing that. We had paid for the logo and all that stuff. So at that moment is when I decided to rebrand, get a new logo, drop the N Waffles, and just be at Dirty Birds Chicken and go from there, you know. I have heard over the years that, you know, he still is like, oh, I still own the name, or he doesn't own shit. We both have I have an LLC with Dirty Birds Chicken and Waffles. We both do. There was a difference of an apostrophe. One of ours had an apostrophe S for birds and the other one didn't. So regardless that they were still close in name, they weren't identical, so they still gave one to each individual.
So you have two now?
I have two, but I don't do business as the other, if that makes sense. So you're able to change your business name, but my EIN number, which is still under that initial one, it stays the same, but it's associated with the current Dirty Birds Chicken LLC name. So we both have LLCs with the Dirty Birds Chicken and Waffle name. However, neither one of those are used. I don't know what he does with his. But nobody owns the claim to the name Dirty Birds. Actually, someone has the trademark to the Dirty Birds name out of the state. So if I ever wanted to, like, franchise or something like that, I would need to change the spelling or go with a different name.
What do you, like, what is he?
I would do maybe like Dirty, DURTY.
BURDY.
Yeah, something like that. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. I don't feel like I would ever just completely change the name.
Yeah.
I always want to be.
Yeah. Like they have the golden arches. We have the golden arcs.
Right.
This is McDowell's.
Yep.
All right.
We'll find this so that when the time comes, I can give him his
hey, go ahead.
shout out.
Yeah, that's crazy. That like a family feud occurred, and then that's what led to.
I didn't know that we were feuding though. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know we were feuding. It was just people are selfish, and people want to control things, and people want things to be their way. I feel like everybody has that in them, but each situation doesn't call for that, you know? There's a reason why some people grow and some people don't. And that's what I'm going to say. And
Facts.
if by chance he's watching this, there's a reason why I have grown, and I feel like you are in the same spot that you were. Dang, you hear my stomach?
Hungry.
After working out, I'm counting calories and stuff. I can only have a certain amount of calories per day, and it is time to eat again. But there's a reason why you're still in the same spot that I believe that you were in however many years ago that was now that I last saw you. Okay. So I have referred to that post that I wanted to, the caption is really what it was, that I wanted to shout out and share because it's so true. And I feel like y'all been maybe searching for the perfect way to explain how I've been feeling. I said I started exercising. I kind of lost myself in this and things of that nature. And I'm like finally starting to feel like myself again, happy, trying to work to restore my peace, myself again, blah, 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 blah. So last night I'm scrolling Instagram and I come across this post. It's Yola World and, it's also the 412 Rent Exotic.
Shout out to Camp Yola and 412 Rent Exotics.
So it says, the unfortunate truth of owning and running a business. Running a business is really hard. What they don't tell you is that it can cause severe stress and anxiety, and it drains you mentally to the point of depression and even the most laid-back people. People will talk about you, compare you to others, use you. They will view you as a service and not a person anymore. Friends and family will expect discounts, and people will value you and your hard work less than a big chain store. You have to worry about if you forget to email, message someone back. Are they going to think it was on purpose? Did you disappoint them? Will they hold that against you? When in reality, you just can't get to everyone's messages and emails. Starting up and running a successful business puts incredible strain on personal lives and relationships, many of which fail because there is just often no work-life balance. You need to be the director, the worker, the admin, the marketing team, the accountant, the cleaner, all whilst being a parent, a husband, or a wife. Family support, friend is one of the hardest things you will try and balance. There's a reason you don't see many people succeed in small businesses after 5 years. If they are successful, they are overwhelmed. It takes a toll. It's freaking exhausting, especially the past couple of years when so much has been out of our control. Here's a small reminder that we are just normal people with hectic lives. Be kind, be patient, support small businesses, and hopefully more of us will stick around. That was some of the realest shit, okay?
Truth.
Yes, like it was the cold-blooded truth.
Cold-blooded truth.
I was like, wow. I had to, I didn't save it, but I had to comment and just say, like, thank you. I couldn't have put it or said it any better. Like, that was so dope. And it was just kind of like, God sends you little, that was everything I needed. And then some. That was so real. And I mean, I think that this needs to be quoted or go viral or something because that is the truth.
Yeah, being an entrepreneur is not...
It's hard. It's not for the weak.
No.
It is not for the weak. And I mean, I felt literally every sentence. You will lose relationships.
Yeah.
You will lose friends. You are stressed. You are exhausted. You do develop anxiety. You know what I'm saying? You lose yourself sometimes. Like, you have to be all of those things. And some of our lines of work or businesses or whatnot require more of you. I don't know what it's like to rent cars, but I know what it's like to cook food. And I know that it's very demanding, and I'm standing a lot, and I'm shopping, and it's an expensive market, and I'm running like a chicken with my head cut off, and I'm not cooking frozen vegetables or canned vegetables and sprucing them up. I'm talking about we're cooking real stuff. You're not getting any Velveeta mac and cheese and stuff, like we're using the good cheeses and the good stuff. Like, no. I know the hard work that it takes, and people just think that it's all glitz and glam. Oh, you got to feed this celebrity or you got to feed that. Yeah, I had to work hard as shit to even get to that point where I was able to do that, and I still had to work hard even in the midst of the opportunity because I have to make sure that the food is good, this, that, and the third. So I never care. You'll catch me outside, I don't care what I look like anymore, and that's not who I am as a person, but that's who I have become because I just want to be comfortable. My feet are hurting, my ankles are swollen. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be comfortable. As long as my kid is fly and looking the way she's supposed to look, That's all I care about. My hair is always wrapped up, tied up in a bonnet or something because, you know, it can't hang down, so my hairstyles are never lasting. You know, I always, in my opinion, look like stir-fried shit. And I have just learned to accept it because it's just, I'm working. I'm literally grinding like a cokehead's jaw right now because I'm trying to get to the finish line.
That's a really good analogy.
Lord knows where it's at, but, you know, I'm trying to get there. So I felt that in my soul. That was real. That was real.
That was. Well, so in recognizing all of that stuff, what's your process with adjusting?
Oh my goodness. So this little like down period or time where I haven't been available to people has, at first I was so frustrated and irritated because I'm always thinking of, I never put myself first. I'm always thinking of what I can do for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I was irritated. I was frustrated. I was so uneasy because I'm like, I gotta figure out what I want to do next. Da, da, da. I, over like the last 2 weeks, have learned to sit still. Sometimes God forces you to sit still for a reason. I have been forced to sit still for a reason. I have been able to work on my business plan. I've been able to work on maybe securing certain funding. I've been able to structure my business so that I can stop working like an employee and actually be a boss. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to focus so much on the hustle. I've been working on getting contracts and establishing relationships with whomever I need to establish these relationships with and whatever contracts I need to get the money. So I'm not running around for pennies when I can be actually securing the bag for real, you know? And I have just been getting back to, like I said, restoring my peace, myself, my happiness, my body, my living space, you know, my car, just whatever. I have never been so clear-minded, and it's been so long, and I mean, it's been amazing, and it's also giving me the time to recognize the people who are not really for me, because there's a lot of people that will do the bare minimum for you just to stay around, or just so that whatever you do, reach your wherever, your height, you know, they could be like, oh, well, I did this for you, or oh, well, da-da-da. That doesn't cut it, because I would never do the bare minimum for you. You know what I mean? And I don't, even when I'm exhausted and overwhelmed and whatever, unhappy, everything, I don't do the bare minimum. So that, this has just been an amazing time, and I feel like my breakthrough is coming. It's been amazing. It has been fucking amazing.
There. Sometimes you get to. Sometimes you may get to points where you're like, like people might be like, oh, you think you're better than me, and then you might be like, no. But in one way, you might be like, I mean, yeah, in this aspect, because I'm not like, all right. So at one point, you went from making food out of your apartment. To
my townhome.
Your townhome. To, well, originally, so townhome, and then eventually you got to where you are in like the club space, like you had the Savoy partnership thing going on, right?
Right.
And they might say, oh, well, what's up with, they might still be approaching you like you're still the lady at the townhouse.
Right.
With the same type of mannerisms or same type of questions, or
they do that.
You don't want this, but
people don't have the common knowledge to whatever. Yeah. I don't consider my clients or the consumer on that type of level, if that makes sense.
What level?
I'm gonna get there.
Okay.
I always have like 1,017 things running through my brain, so I can't always like formulate into words what it is I'm trying to say correctly or promptly all the time. But
take your time.
So you're like someone might feel like you're better than them.
Yeah.
I feel like those are typically your peers or people who are trying to be in competition with you, or sit at the same table as you. Cool, no big deal. Shout out to my man E. Cruz with the no big deal. But
no big deal.
But
come on, Cameron. Yo, what?
Swear. Blanket on his head stuff. But I don't feel like I'm better than anybody. I told you I'm humble. It makes me uncomfortable, and I'm shy when I hear people speak highly of me, you know?
Yeah.
And it's never that you feel like you're better than anybody, but it's better. I know I'm better than what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be, for lack of something better to say, you might be too ghetto for me, or you might hang around a certain type of crowd or be into type stuff that I'm not. I know that I have outgrown or surpassed or been there, done that. So that's not me being better than you or thinking I'm better than you. That's just me acknowledging my growth and not going back to where I came from.
And being better than what
Who I used to be.
That's the truth.
Growth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not me being better than you, but, and that's cool if you take it that way. I am better than you in that moment, but I would never say that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you grow, you'll realize, or you'll feel or understand where I'm coming from, or be in the same shoes. In terms of the consumer or the client, I have, people like to try you. You know, I try to always keep my professional hat on, but I always am quick to remind you that I am human, and my name is Chantel, even though it is also Dirty Birds. So I try to be respectful, but people forget. I don't work for McDonald's or Eaton Park or Outback Steakhouse or Chick-fil-A. Heavy emphasis on this is my business. Yeah. So if I feel as though I want to deny you service because you're arrogant or you're rude or you're disrespectful to myself or whomever is working for me at that time, I can do that because this is my shit. If I feel like you deserve to be tightened up or fine-tuned or, checked, I can do that because this is my shit. And you need to understand, and if I have to make you an example for the next, I'll happily do that and professionally do that because you need to know your place. There are a million women out here that could cook. And probably could cook better than me. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? We don't know that because they haven't chose to cook or cooking as their profession. Okay, we get that. There's a bunch of us that could sing, and there's a bunch of us that could rap, and you get what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that could excel in crafts that they have not chosen to do for a living. So don't think that you're going to come and get my food, and a lot of times, and it's always women, I don't know if they're doing it for the men or who, whatever, but, because I cook too. Okay. Or...
Congrats.
Right. Like, what, in that moment, what does that have to do with anything? So how I address the situation is not me thinking I'm better than you or thinking that I could cook better than you or anything of that nature. It's just kind of like, are we talking about a possible collaboration, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not always understanding what that statement is.
Like, well, I need you to DJ a party, woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? But, because I DJ too, you know what I'm saying? I know how I could get, but, like, you know what I'm saying? Or even, like, I remember one time this dude, he said, yo, I said, like, what's your budget? He said, well, most beginners start out at woo, 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 woo. And I'm like, I'm not a beginner.
Right.
Like, I'm not a beginner. Like, why, like...
Don't make that assumption for me.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know me, and,
People assume that they do, though, because of the social media persona, Oh, I see you on the internet. You don't know who I am as a person.
Yeah. Sometimes word of the mouth outside of social media is way bigger than your social media platform.
And that's fine,
and vice versa.
The word of mouth that you're getting is typically based off of the Dirty Birds page. I'm a totally different person on Chantel's page. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't, even though this is important to me, I keep my business and my personal separate. I never tag my personal page on my business page. Even when people do it who know me personally, I always edit it or mark it out. I don't want you to follow me on my business, on my personal page. I don't want you paying attention to me. I participate in a culinary cohort, and I shared that I have developed social anxiety. I really only freely communicate with people who I have good energy or get good vibes with. Otherwise, I don't really want to talk to you. I don't want to, I'll keep it very limited because people are really shady, and people are manipulative. So I might be away and that gets misinterpreted or misconstrued for something that it's not, but also because I'm protecting my peace. everybody feels like they're entitled to a piece of you or parts of you that you might not be willing to unveil or share. I'm not entitled or I'm not obligated to share who I am or what I go through or what I've got going on or any bits of me that I don't want to. So what I post on the Dirty Birds page is what I'm willing to share with you in that moment. If we build a bond or relationship from you coming frequently or whatever, you might get a different side of me or whatever that not everybody else can relate to. So everybody else's version or story or interpretation of you based off of some social media persona is going to be different, because again, I'm not obligated to share that with everybody. And a lot of times people get too comfortable. You give somebody an inch, they feel like they can run a mile with it, and then then to me that is disrespect. You know, it's just like everybody feels like they can do this, that, and the third to you, but then if you dish that out to them, it's, you know,
So how do you cope with the social anxiety?
I'm learning how to cope with it still. I can't tell you that right now. I mean, maybe...
That's it. You're still learning.
Yeah, maybe with the whole newfound clarity and peace and all of that stuff, though, I feel like that would help. Yeah. That's going to help, but I still don't, you know. And COVID didn't make it any better because...
Hey, I hear you. You around nobody.
Right.
And especially, you know, because they might have the potential to kill you by just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you get to where everybody's like back out and about and you don't know who's vaxxed, who's not. I'm vaccinated, by the way, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not, by the way.
Okay, well, I'm good.
Me too.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
You sure?
No, I'm just kidding.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
You sure?
I am positive.
My mom still be on my ass about that. Like,
but you know what?
Like the interview we did before this when we were over there, and you know how it went, and we were all like close together. Mm-hmm. She might pinpoint stuff about that.
That's cool. She's being a mom and she's momming really hard, and that's great. Is she vaccinated?
Yeah.
She's older. She's an elder. She should be.
I was gonna hold out on it, but
I don't want it, and I don't mean that. No disrespect to anybody who is vaccinated. My mom and dad got vaccinated. My daughter's dad, not the sperm donor, but the guy that takes care of her, who we acknowledge as her dad. Okay. He's vaccinated. Funny thing is, he contracted COVID while vaccinated. Like, you know, the people who are vaccinated are the ones who are catching COVID more so than the ones who aren't vaxxed. I mean, it's just, I feel like everybody jumped on the bandwagon. It's like puppets. You have to do this, you have to get this, you need this to sustain or whatever, because that's what somebody's telling you. So now here we are, and it's like COVID disappeared. So y'all done went and got that shit injected in you.
What you want me to say? You know what I'm saying? All right, man. So what's it like now in your career? You're representing the city a lot. When I see like celebrities pull up, like you're the person who's sitting there and they're like firing on some wings.
Okay. What's it like?
Yeah, what's it like? Like, how's it feel? Who are some of the people that have come to the city that you cook for? I know Soda Baby's one, right?
Yeah, that was like my first celebrity feed. That was crazy.
You had I forget his name, T-Swag Jones on social media.
T-Swag Jones. Okay, so I mean, it feels regular. It's exciting.
Steelers player, by the way.
Absolutely. He's not anymore though. I'm gonna talk about him in 1 second, but it's exciting. Those are definitely noteworthy experiences. I try to capture any type of footage I can or get a picture, because when I do have a spot, I want to have a wall dedicated to everybody that I've ever done. You know, it's like building my resume to me, and I actually prefer to do that more so than the regular day-to-day. I feel like, you know, these are people who, not saying that people here aren't rich too or whatever, but these are people who are rich as hell. They've been all over different cities, the world. People are always throwing something or another at them. And it's like, you know, if you get that, like, oh yeah, this is fire or something from them, then it's like, oh wow, it might really be fire. And you know what I'm saying? I don't really feel like the food industry in our city is much of anything. So, we
Why?
don't have.
What do you mean?
Our food sucks here in the city. Like, we don't have people don't come to Pittsburgh to eat. You know what
You
I'm
don't think
saying?
so? We're ranked like
Hell
top 10 best pizza.
That's pizza, and you said top 10, not top 2.
Top 5. We're top 5.
Not top 2, but I mean that's pizza. Like, I don't even think we have the best pizza though. You know, like I'll go to Chicago or to New York and say that that's some fire ass pizza. Like we are, that's pizza. And I mean, no shade to anybody that's making pizza or anything like that. Like, you can do some very creative things with pizza, but I don't know.
With what you make.
And I'm not even sitting over here talking about, like, oh, what I make is the shit or
No,
whatever
yeah, no.
either. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, okay, aside from being ranked top 5, which is something that just came about recently, what else are we ranked or known for food? Like, I'm sorry, no shade to Permane Brothers, but Permane Brothers isn't what it used to be, and that used to be like a
pierogies,
landmark in the city. Who the
And
fuck?
pierogies.
I don't.
Subway sandwiches.
That shit is trash. The Subway's tuna isn't even real tuna. They said, and
Not
eating-
the chain.
I'm just
Like
saying.
triangle subs or something. Or
Okay.
Like, I get what you're saying though.
Yeah, like we
What-
don't
What,
like
what do you think could improve that?
good food, good quality food. Sticking to consistency, having the stuff taste the same all the time. Quality ingredients. Quit trying to cut corners and like I can tell when you're giving me a frozen something
Yeah.
or a or a canned something.
Yeah.
You can look at it and tell the difference. Like, I don't know, just being better.
So.
Anywho.
Go ahead.
So, I enjoy those experiences a lot. I have been blessed or fortunate enough to cross paths with a couple celebrities. I think the last one, who was the last one?
You just fed Jada Kiss.
Jada, but he wasn't the last one. I think it was Cardi's sister,
Hennessy.
Henny wasn't the last one. Maybe she was.
See, so she's so many. She's track.
No, I don't mean it like. No, it was Fetty. Fetty was the last
Fetty
one.
Wap.
Yep. Yeah, it was Fetty, and
You might be too humble. People tell me that all the time.
I,
And it feels weird telling somebody else that. But you have, let's just think, Sada Baby. Juju.
And
You
Juju-
said you fed Juju in the trap.
swear, T Swag Jones.
T-Swag Jones.
Tevin is the reason why he came, and that was actually my first introduction to the Steelers was from Tevin, who's no longer here with the Steelers, and shout out to Chelsea for that.
Hennessy. Cardi B's sister.
Yeah,
Jada Kiss.
yeah,
Of the Locks.
yeah,
DJ Coleblooded of Pittsburgh.
yeah.
But you're feeding like really like you said like big.
I mean,
ones,
it's
like these, you know
exciting.
what I'm saying?
It's an honor. It's exciting, but I'm still regular. You know what I'm saying? I'm still
Yeah.
here. I'm still
It's the business is you and your daughter now, right?
Yep.
What's
It's
that
just
like?
me and my kid. So I'm sure she hates it. And I'm definitely hard on my kid because I want her to be better than y'all's kid. I want her to be the best, the greatest. And I want the best for her. But I love it. That's my dog. That's my kid. Of course I'm her mom, but that's my best friend. Like, I absolutely adore her. She would never know because, she probably thinks, like, nothing that she ever does is good enough because I'm, like, always on her. Like, I want her to, I applaud her, but I want her to be
Only one?
somebody. Yep, only one. I'm not going to keep it that way, though. But, yeah, only one right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. All right, so motherhood is going good for you.
Yeah.
What's it like with her friends reacting to her? She used to be cool rappers and athletes and cook all the time. Or do they come over and like fire on all the food and give it to their friends?
I'm good on the kids. And nothing's free. Food, especially with all the inflation.
So they don't come to the crib and fire on the food. Huh?
Yeah, no.
All right.
And I don't know. We don't talk that much about the friends.
Well, she's more like business oriented.
She's business oriented, but she experiences the same types of things that I experience with friends or certain relationships and stuff. So you know, at that age, people are wishy-washy. You're starting to kind of come into your, like, lifehood friends, and you're also kind of splitting from or learning who's really your friend and who's not your friend. I will say that my kid has a good head on her shoulders, and she could fight, and she gets to her little money. She has her own business, Naya's Crack House. She sells candied fruit. Check her out. Follow her. Support her business. I mean, she's a dope kid, though. Yeah.
Did you hear about the crack house down in Atlanta?
Yeah.
With the grapes?
So, I have followed the Crack House in Atlanta for a long time, and I think they do phenomenal work. I'm very sorry to hear about her brother passing not too long ago.
Yeah.
Their mom passing prior. That's why they started the business or whatnot. And I got the idea for her to do that from them. You know what I'm saying?
See?
Because nobody was doing it here.
Yeah, see, these are things to know. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody was doing it here.
That's a good one. I'm proud of myself for that question.
I'm sorry. Good. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
Because I didn't think you knew. Sometimes I might hit people with something, and then I'll be thinking like, you probably not knew this, or people are watching. You know what I'm saying?
I'm quiet, but I pay attention to a lot of stuff. Like, I'm tapped in and following and paying attention to a lot of stuff. Like, I'm on it. So I got the idea for her to do that from them because nobody was doing it here. And, you know, no, not to try to take any credit or anything. She's a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, not trying to take away from anything that they've got going on, but something that I felt like would be easy for her to manage and do, and also for her to be able to afford her supplies. You know, you want to be a businesswoman or whatever, you want to generate your own money, you need to know how to maneuver as such. So I felt like that was something that she could do. You know, she chose her name, she got her own logo and stuff situated, so, you know, I didn't have anything to do with the similarities, Crack House names. That was her. But
guess what, baby girl? We selling rocks.
Yeah. Oh shit. Literally though, that's what that shit is like though. Have you ever had any candied fruit? Well, I mean, I'm old too, so that stuff really doesn't. It's not my thing. I don't eat it.
I got messed up teeth.
I don't have messed up teeth, but it's like
I don't eat that.
The exterior is like.
I don't really eat candy like that no more.
Okay, neither do I. So
it's probably good. Probably good.
I wouldn't know. But people like it.
I can't say I won't ever try it, but
just give me the fruit. I don't want to have to try to bite or suck some candy off of the fruit. You know, give me the fruit.
And don't give it to me cold either. Sensitive teeth. You know what I'm saying? I use Sensodyne, but I ain't trying all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your fruit? You know what I mean?
I made a message list. I reached out last night just to, you know, extend the courtesy because they had inquired first. But if you said they were gonna pay today, if you don't, I'm sorry, it's gone.
What's your favorite restaurant?
I don't really have one anymore. It used to be Ruth Chris. That was my favorite restaurant. And to be honest with you, it's funny because it was because of a waiter. Wow. He was, I don't know, he was so animated. His voice and just like how he was. I haven't seen him. No, he was dope. Like I laughed. I remember I went with my cousin and we only had him twice. We used to go there all the time. And he was funny. Just, you know, he was cool. But I like Ruth Chris, Morton's. Eddie V's has become a favorite amount of crab fried rice. But it's never consistent. Like, sometimes it's like bussin' and sometimes it's just like, I like the high-end restaurants though, for the most part. Only because typically those are good quality and the ones that you're going to get the consistency with. Even though I just said that the rice is hit or miss, but sometimes somebody's doing a little bit too much soy sauce or not enough. You know what I'm saying? That's something minute I could fix or doctor up at home. But for the most part, that's where you're getting the consistency. I like Longhorn here and there. Now that I am dieting and exercising and counting calories, and I can only have a certain amount of calories per day, I don't know what my new favorite restaurant's going to be. Or
Panera Bread.
So the thing about that, Chick-fil-A too, when you're counting the calories, the stuff that you think is healthy is still high in caloric value. or not as healthy as you think when you're reading the ingredients or, you know, what's in them. So, yeah. I'll be meal prepping this weekend. Yes, I will. But yeah, I like good food. Papa Do's is my favorite restaurant. We don't have one here. I think the closest one is somewhere in Ohio. That was like a top fave. It's like the steakhouse for seafood.
What's the untold truth about Chantel?
An untold truth about Chantel.
Mm.
I'm like an open book. You know, I believe
That's an untold truth?
No, I'm saying I'm like, I don't feel like I have an untold truth. I'm like an open book. I try to be transparent. I believe that, you know, not everything should be said or told. And again, everybody doesn't need to know everything about you. But what the stuff that I am willing to share, like I try to be transparent, like with my struggles with the business and stuff like that, because I just feel like those are good learning experiences. Not only were they for myself, but maybe for somebody else, or, you know, people can appreciate real, and people can tell when you're fake. Mm-hmm. But underneath all, I'm a Virgo, so I'm rigid. I'm very over analytical, methodical. So, you know, there's definitely some type of, it was a strategic move when it was executed. But underneath the hard exterior and all that, I'm a lover. I love with my whole heart and then some, my soul. That's probably why I'm so guarded and jaded, because I know people don't love like me, and when I do love, I love you hard and long, you know. That's friend, relationship, family, whatever. So it's easy for you to get hurt because people don't love like that or care like that anymore. And I'm a real life ride or die. Like, not asking no questions. You need me to grab the gun or whatever, and we need to go do what? Okay, I'm sorry I said that, but it is the truth. Okay, cool. We're on our way to go do whatever it is. Not that somebody's calling me to grab the gun to go do anything, but I'm just saying, like, if you know you needed me to go, or the shovel, you need me to come get the shovel, I'm not asking any questions. We're going to take care of whatever it is we need to take care of, and then we're going to go home and go to sleep or whatever. You know, like, I got you, literally, if I'm rocking with you like that.
Be yourself, live your dream.
No, but, you know, I just...
What's a piece of advice you got for upcoming entrepreneurial cooks?
Man, fuck y'all. I'm Dirty Birds, and stay in your lane. No, I'm just playing. just joking, I swear to God. Any entrepreneurial cooks, I need you to know and understand that this is a very hard journey when you're trying to provide quality, good food. It's not easy. Entrepreneurship, period, is not for the weak. This industry is very expensive, so, you know, make sure you plan and save as much as you can. Get tapped in with the right people and resources. Don't burn yourself out. Be consistent. That's like top on the list. Be true to yourself. Try to be different. If you copy somebody or take somebody's ideas or whatever, give them credit. I said be true to yourself, right? And try not to be shady. Like, it's so many, we could all be doing a lot of stuff here. I'm talking about cooks, I'm talking about podcasts, I'm talking about DJs, whoever, and we're not. Like, our city could be thriving, we could all be killing shit collectively, and we're not, because everybody has that crab in a barrel mentality. Everybody's always trying to throw shade, everybody's trying to hate, everybody's always trying to, I don't know, but it's giving very much ghetto, and I hate that for us. So try to be a collaborator, try to engage and interact with your peers, and set your sights high. You don't want to be the best in the city, you want to be the best at what you do, period. You want to be great and exceed anybody else who has done what it is that you're doing today.
Well, on that note, probably got like 2 minutes left. Where can they follow you? Where can they book you?
Dirty Birds Chicken, at Dirty Birds Chicken on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. My phone number is 412-557-3396. That phone is powered off until I am accepting orders on a regular, consistent basis. Currently, I'm accepting personal orders no less than $75, 50% deposit required at the time of booking, as well as catering orders. Catering link can be found or located in my bio. Again, you can follow, like, DM for questions, comments, concerns, and yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Dirty Bird's Chicken.
DJ Cold-Blooded. And this was the Cold-Blooded Truth. No, I'm just kidding.